Last year, of the 50 states, I believe there were 46 that had a deficit budget in the last period. Texas is one of the few that did not. We ended the last budget cycle with $9 billion in the bank. Only one other state had surplus. Everybody else spent their surplus. North Dakota, with I think they've got 600,000 people in the entire state, they had a small surplus. We were the only state that had a surplus. The question that is always asked, and I will, at these meetings where the Senate President's there, every time we talk about an issue, it always circles back to Texas, and they would turn to me and they'd say, well, what are y'all doing? You're different than what's happening other places. What are you doing? But it's exactly the same question when I addressed the legislature, leadership in California, and I finished my comments, and there was a African-American man on the front row that was one of the, I think he was the majority leader, raised his hand. He said, Senator, he said, I just want a simple answer. Can you just capsulize the difference between what California is doing and what Texas is doing? And I said, sir, it's actually very, very easy. It's math 101. You're spending more than you take in. And it's that simple. We are, and I think what I'd like to do is I'm going to give you kind of a general look of where we are right now. Now, even though I've given all the bragging rights for Texas, Texas is starting to be impacted somewhat by what's going on in the other states. The stimulus that was passed last year, when the current administration took office, I think the deficit from the point that they took over until now, after the stimulus has been in place, I think you remember the last administration was criticized by their spending and the deficit created by the war. Since the new administration took over, I believe the deficit has increased, it's tripled, I believe is the latest number. We are, the United States, if you compare where Greece is today with the debt level per population, and you look at the debt level of the United States, we're almost exactly in the same place. We have a lot of reason to be concerned right now about what's going on, the debt that's being put in place, and the fact that there are other states like California that refuse to live within their own means. California was $43 billion in deficit last year. They're going into this year $21 billion in debt. They've already announced that we have to have money. If you don't give us money, the state is in danger of collapsing. They're asking the federal government again for a bailout. Illinois, the president's home state, announced this week that they could not pay the state employees wages. All the university people have basically said, we don't have the cash to pay you. And so you have, again, multiple states that are holding their hands out to the federal government and saying, we need a bailout, we need money. The federal government has no money. We have the money. We give it to the federal government. It's our money that they're asking for. And unfortunately, what we're doing is that if we don't increase taxes, the federal government is taking on debt. We owe China now $562 billion. We owe Japan $575 billion. And then the federal government has a debt to itself of $5.1 trillion of money that we have loaned ourselves, that the only way of getting out of it is printing more money. I mean, there's a huge concern about what's happening nationally, what the federal government is doing, and the way the other states are reacting. Now let's get to Texas. Texas last year, on the stimulus money, we did accept some of the money, but we only accepted bricks and mortar money, that there were strings attached that would increase the cost of government. I'll give you an example. The unemployment fund in Texas last year, we were about $600 million in the hole. The federal government offered us that $600 million money that we really needed, but there were strings attached that if we accepted, we had to increase the amount of benefits. And if we did that, over the years, all of you employers, your unemployment rate would go through the roof because we were forced to increase benefits. All the states that accepted that money, which I believe were 48, I believe there were only 2 or 3 that did not receive it, Every state now is in trouble because it was a one-time fix. Now they have in place an expense that they can't cover the cost of, and they're in big trouble. Texas, again, is looking like a hero. We turned the money down. We said we'll live within our own means, and we're going to manage through this.